to enlighten people as to the danger that we are really in. It is written basically to liberals, although conservatives can learn a lot from it too, because they have no clue often as to what's happening in other arenas. And so I would encourage you to at least look at the website and what's in that book.
I will add that to the website right after our show here. RescuingABrokenAmerica.com, correct?
Right. It's actually RescuingAmericaBook.com now, but I'm going to change the web address here probably today. You know, it's a very interesting thing. We're talking about spiritual warfare before the program came on. When I first came out with this book 2 weeks ago, I sent out an email with advertising the book, the South, and so forth. And within 2 days, any email sent from anywhere in the world with that address in it would not go to its recipient. It was staggering what these people are capable
of. The story that I just put out is that Israel was attacking the internet. Now the internet is the computers are a double-edged sword. With it, they can keep track of us. With it, they can follow us on this RFID chips. And with it, they can put all of our banking. And isn't that what they're planning on? They're going to crash all the economies, meld it into a one-world government of the bankers, by the bankers, and for the bankers. And if you're in line, you can pay your taxes and you can pay your Walmart bill by waving your hand over the scanner. They've already done that to German troops stationed in Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Yeah.
They go into a Walmart and they can pay for everything waving their hand over.
Yep, it's amazing. It really is. I can't understand how in the world people can't see this. I think for the very first time, it's been kind of a frog in a warming pot up until now, and Obama and the current administration and Congress has literally put their whole end game in front of the American people, and the American people are going into a state of shock. And what they do not realize is this is a plan, this strategy that's been in place for well over 100 years. They just are accelerating it now so people can see it. I think they think that it's too late for anybody to do anything about it. I don't think it's too late. With God, all things are possible. We stopped the Biological Diversity Treaty 15 years ago, 1 hour before it was scheduled for ratification. That was God working. It's a tremendous story. And anybody can be used to stop this agenda before it actually happens. We have that ability, and hopefully we are going to be able to stop this, bring sanity back, and restore the Constitution to its original intent.
You know, I spoke of McCarthy. McCarthy was talking to James Forrestal. He was the Assistant Secretary of Defense in McCarthy's day, and he mentioned something about these communists being stupid, and Forrestal disagreed with him. He said, no, consistency is not the mark of stupidity. If they were just stupid, occasionally they'd make a mistake in our favor.
Yeah.
And I think they threw him out of the 10th floor of the Bethesda Naval Hospital for that.
Yeah, that's so true. It is really unfortunate, but that is so true that it's really one of those things where you cannot believe what is happening right now, because it is for the average American. For the average American, it's hard to get your mind around it. It's hard for me to get my mind around it. I've been into the bowels of this agenda now for 20 years. And I know how hard it is for the average American to get into this and understand it. That's why I wrote the book. It's very easy to read. It's a fast read, I've been told. And it really does lay out the entire agenda so people can put it together and realize what's going on. Maybe this is the best way, I don't know, but maybe this is the best way to get somebody who is only peripherally aware of what's going on up into operating speed very quickly.
Now, I've been trying to do this for 20 years, Michael.
Yeah, as I have. Right.
You know, and I sold your books. I had a full page of your books on the Free American Magazine before the Free American Magazine went down, or I went down. And, you know, I've been attacked as being anti-Semitic because I'm pointing out, A, that the Rothschilds started the Jewish colony in Palestine, that the
Right.
Politburo, the Bolsheviks, they murdered the Tsar, and here they set up the Federal Reserve. Now, the Rothschild happened to be Jewish, and the six-pointed star is a Rothschild symbol. And we got it. You know, we've done the history on this. But if you try to talk about this, and you point out that Israel's got 400 nuclear weapons, Iran doesn't have any.
Yeah.
You're attacked as being anti-Semitic, and I just experienced that. One woman's supposed to be helping me on my site. Oh, well, you're a hate monger. You know, no, I have never advocated violence against anybody. As a matter of fact, what I've said is that one of the problems that we've got today is how do you fight evil without becoming evil?
You know, that's a very, very good question, one that I have to basically face every day. Because once you get down into the nitty-gritty of what is going on, as you and I have, and you see the evil, I mean, it's raw evil. There is no other way you can describe it. It's the blackest evil you can possibly imagine. These people want to control every human being on planet Earth, and they're willing to destroy people to do it. When you see what's going on and how they're doing it and the kind of conditions they're setting up for, so that human greed and anger and bitterness and so forth rules rather than love and compassion, it is unbelievable, because it makes you really want to level these people. But you can't do that. It's always got to be done in righteousness, and I can't overemphasize that point. If I am successful in getting this book to be a bestseller, I'm going to be attacked. But I can never lose my temper, ever, because that would ruin my message.
You know, I just did an article out, a letter to white racists out there, and I've told her, you know, I got invited by the Aryan nations to come speak, and I said, well, you know, first of all, you know, if you're Jewish and you can join the ADL, or B'nai B'rith, if you're black and you can join the NAACP, if I'm white, why would I be a racist if I joined the National Alliance or the Aryan nations? But every time, you know, I told him, I said, well, I'll speak at your event, but you won't like what I got to say, because every time you refer to blacks as mud people, every time you refer to Jews as kikes, every time you refer to Chinese as chink, every time you refer to Mexicans as spick, you are shooting yourself in the foot, and you're making me look bad because I happen to be white too.
Right.
You know, you can't.
You have to be extremely careful. Racism, that kind of thing, has no business in trying to fight this. You can mock what they're trying to do. I think it deserves to be mocked, but to not mock the individual and so forth. And that's what I do in the book. I just literally lay out what they're trying to do and point out, you know, this is ridiculous. This is insane what they're trying to do. And people are really beginning to understand this.
Now, what's happening? In the news here, all over the things, is the oil spill in the Gulf. Now they've got it closed down, and I think they could have closed it down the first week, but they dragged their feet, they stalled, they dumped tons of poison on top of the oil. I think that was an attack on our food supply. Every time, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is what I've been telling people for the last few years. You know, that anytime communism takes over a country, they go after three classes of people in order. They go after the farmers first, because they don't want you being able to feed yourself. You know, ninth plank, corporate farms. They go after the intelligentsia the next. That's anybody like you or I that are smart enough to know what they're doing.